feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank. When it's sink or swim, only option is to win.
Well, welcome to the post-show wrap-up of our interview with CEO of the Business Examiner Media Group, Jeff Rounce, and the Seattle Shrimp Tank. So, Jeff, thanks so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we had a fantastic interview with Jeff, and there's just a lot of great material in there. But one of the elements that I really picked out from that, Jeff, was can you tell us what the importance is, in your opinion, of belonging to what I'll call a trade association or an industry group?
I think it's very significant, in particular if you can find one that's specific to the industry that you're working in. Even better if it's outside of your geography, because I have found, for example, and I'm part of a national association of local business publishers. Because we're not competing one with another, we're all in different markets. We are much more open about sharing ideas, sharing results. We even have a financial exchange of information through an intermediary, so we end up with benchmarks for our particular industry that can help us become better operators of our own business. You'll get ideas, and my experience has been that these people are very open at sharing what works, what doesn't work.
Excellent. Thank you.
And I'm Dan Whedon, and I'm going to ask the second question here. I've got an interesting social media question here. When you listen to our podcast, you'll hear Jeff talk about social media and business. What I would like to ask you is, you're a veteran of the media wars dating back almost 40 years. In this presidential election, we saw a lot of op-ed pieces from people using social media platforms. How have you seen social media change journalism?
One of the things that I think is unfortunate and hopefully unfinished is the effect of social media on mainstream journalism, mainstream media. It has devalued the great amount of effort and commitment and study that most mainstream journalists have always exerted in their craft. Suddenly, everyone's opinion exhibited on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever, everyone's opinion is equally valid. I find that troubling because I know a lot of people whose opinions I highly value, and they are lost in the flood of things just because of the enormous volumes that go out there. So I think that it's not a positive effect. I say the impacts are unknown because I keep hoping, maybe in my old age, I keep hoping that society will realize the mess that has brought upon us and revert to showing some respect for a person like Gwen Ifill, who unfortunately passed, but left a huge reputation for being a solid, well-researched journalist.
Thank you.
Well, Jeff, we're excited to have you on, and we certainly appreciate you participating today. One of the reasons that I wanted to have you have an opportunity to tell your story is because you certainly are from an industry that over the last 10 to 15 years has gone through an accelerated and rapid change, and you're what I would consider to be one of those survivors and actually thrivers of that. So what are some key factors in your estimation of what's required to survive a rapidly changing industry?
You must be aware. You must be willing to examine how the reality is different than what you want it to be or what you expected it to be or from what it used to be. You have to accept the fact that maybe the plan that got you started in 1985 is not a plan that will work in 2016. And you need to be able to make the adjustments. And I say this as guidance, not necessarily as example.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much. So, Jeff, if individuals want to learn more about the Business Media Group and get in contact with you, how would they do that?
The easiest way would be on our website, businessexaminer.com. It's all about us. Our content is there. You can see what we do. And we hope you'll become a subscriber. If you really want to just send me an email, I monitor a lot of addresses, but mail at businessexaminer.com is probably the easiest one.
Well, thank you. So again, I'm Brad Berger. I'm joined by my co-host, Dan Whedon. That's going to be a wrap for today. We want to make sure that you always catch all of the replays of not only the videos, but the podcasts. So be sure to catch us on seattle.shrimptankpodcast.com and never miss an episode by subscribing to the iTunes store. Again, that's the seattle.shrimptankpodcast.com. Until next time, signing off.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank.